Hi, this is Poly Yoga Guy, and thank you so much for joining me for this practice. We're going to make about 45 minutes of Vinyasa Flow, centering mostly around Vashisthasana side plank, but we'll make ample time to relax, to rest and digest, and let some things go following the flow. So when you're ready, meet me on your mats. So beginning again, just as we always do, with a moment of stillness. Just taking the time to appreciate how it feels to be you at this precise moment in time. Notice how there is a proclivity of the mind-body for awareness to jump to the parts of the body that are perhaps just a little bit in pain or uncomfortable or sleepy. And we want to prioritize in this asana class paying a little bit of extra mindfulness, a little bit of extra attention to the parts of the body that instead feel strong, feel vital, feel awake. And also just this observation of the tendency of the mind to always fly to the discomfort. Centering the mind now into the mechanics of breathing, just feeling the belly rise and fall. Such a simple tool, but always there for you, all the way through the life's journey, through anything that encumbers your path. You have this breath waiting for you as a tool. So we practice here now. Inhale. Exhale slowly. And palms to prayer. And we sing. We sing one Om today only. Inhale. Om. Nice. So we're going to come over onto all fours to begin today. We're going to begin with a little bit of like a shoulder circle. So we're going to take the right hand off the mat. Pay attention to the left hand. Push the ground away. Reach the hand forward and all the way up. Watch it go to the back of the mat and then all the way forward, just grazing the floor. And you can rotate the palm in and out. Just one more like that. Good, and then coming onto the left side, all the way up and forward. Just a couple of nice shoulder rotations. Adding in internal and external rotation of your palm and your arm bones. And coming back to neutral, and sweep your right hand to the sky. And we'll thread the needle today all the way across you to the left and just lay it all the way down. And pause here, either passively relaxing and stretching, or maybe a little bit of activation, push down through these right fingernails, and almost like your body pulls back away to the left, to the right. And then we'll use our left hand for some leverage. Push the ground away, rise up, and switch. So we'll take the left hand to the sky, and all the way underneath us, now to the right. You may feel how your body pulls naturally towards that left hand out to the right. And we want to engage through those fingernails and then traction backwards to the left. So pull the hips back to the left. And now we'll find some strength through the right hand. Push it up all the way back to the sky and left hand down. And then go ahead and come all the way up to sit on your toes. So tuck your toes underneath you. Well, I fix my mic pack. And make sure that your pinky toes are involved. So they tend to kind of get lost there. and sit on down. And just reflect on what a nice, peaceful pose this is, right? No, just kidding. There's always this tendency to flee from this pose, and that's fine. If it's too much sensation, take some weight forward. But if you can, try to actually relax the bottoms of your feet, this pesky bit of tissue called the plantar fascia between your heels and the big toe mound. One more breath, just like this. Exhale. And if you have to come out of it, come out. Okay? And that's fine. Stretch for a moment. Or you can stay in. Either way, let's join back in. One more round here, stretching the arches of our feet. And now we'll take the arms to the sky. We're going to make fists here. Now notice if there's this tendency, like my body, of this big curve here because the shoulders are lacking in flexibility. So right away, try to pull the upper rib cage back and keep reaching the hands to the sky. And then we're going to flick the hands, like we're trying to flick droplets of water to the ceiling. And move, and move, and move. There's no right way, but just energize your hands, your forearms, the wrists. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now the nice thing about that little bit of movement is that you forgot about your feet, right? And now we'll sit back down on our heels with the toes untucked, and maybe hands come behind you. For some of you, just leaning back will be enough of a stretch to the front of the ankles. Some of us can float the knees, pause. One slow exhale. And then come on back down. And let's do a little bit of wrist warm-ups, just in preparation for some of the standing postures. So full knuckle on the ground, but then bend the elbow to the floor and switch that up. Other knuckles, all four knuckles resting on the mat, and then the elbow touches, and then switch it around so that your hands now palms down, but fingernails facing your knees, lean back, stretch. Good. And then full fists pushing together and the tops of the hands on the mat. Bend the elbows out to the sides, and then keep the fists pushing into the midline and work towards straight. And 2 or 3 movements like that with breathing. Good. Release, shake it out. Anything you need to do to be prepared, but then the next place, please. Downward facing dog. And now that moment of freedom. So do what your body calls for. So just pedal the feet out. Maybe you work with bent knees. You work a little bit of more traction through the hands and the upper body. Pedal, pedal, pedal. And now I want you to reach out and grab the corners of your mat. So grab the mat with your hands. And then take your feet a little bit wider and bend the knees. And then we're going to start by lifting the right hand off and reaching for that left outer heel or shin. So I like to catch the heel and then bend the right knee and try to straighten the left. Spinning the heart through and looking up underneath your left armpit. And then go ahead and switch that up. Right hand returning to hold the edge of the mat. Left hand now off. Reach for the shin or the heel. And then go ahead and bend the left knee more and straighten out the right. Look up through. And release that, please. Hands down. Bend the knees. Hips all the way back towards the heels. Look forward. Curl forward into a plank pose. Lower down halfway, so it's just a chaturanga push-up. Elbows stay into the ribs. Push back up. Bend the knees. Hips to heels. Downward facing dog. 3 circles like that. Bend the knees deeply, look forward, surge into your plank, and take a push-up. Back up to the top of a plank. Bend the knees, hips to heels, and tailbone to the sky. And one more. Just trying to begin to warm the whole body up at once. Bend the knees deeply, look forward. Plank pose, chaturanga. Plank pose. Bend the knees, hips to heels. Downward facing. And then please a slow walk. Top of the mat. When you get there, let's fold it out. And inhale all the way to the sky. And exhale through prayer. We'll begin to move now. A little bit of a slow flow, moving through these familiar lunge salutations. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold. Take the right foot back. And instead of coming up, let's get down. So feet hip width apart. Drop the pelvis as low as you can go. Bend the back knee a little bit. And now, maybe you stay right where you are. Find some strength in your feet. Find some inner thighs engaged in. Push through the feet. Maybe you float your fingernails just a ½ inch off the ground. Pull your thighs towards each other and your feet towards each other. Light up your whole bottom half. And let it go. And step back plank pose. First time we make it to the ground. So all the way down. And then curl up cobra. Exhale, let it go. Pop up towards that plank pose and downward facing. And we go look at the other side. Right foot through. Knees drop, but only to near the floor. Find all those isometrics. Inner thighs engaged in, feet pulling towards each other. Also try to find belly a little bit off thigh. And then hover the finger pads. 3, 2, 1. Hands down, step to the top of the mat and fold. Inhale all the way to the sky and through prayer. Inhale, move again. Exhale, fold again. Left foot back of the mat. We're going to keep the left hand down this round. Sweep the right arm to the ceiling. Pause. Extend it all the way over, bicep to ear. And a big long loop to the back of the room. Palm up, all the way up and over. One more like that, please. And flow to the floor. Step back plank pose. Lower down. Cobra pose. Downward facing dog. Left foot through the ground. Right hand stays down. Sweep left hand up and over. And these 3 full range of motion, shoulder articulations. And find the floor and step to the top. Inhale it all the way to the sky. Exhale through prayer. Inhale, go again. Exhale, fold. Right foot to the back of the mat. Finally, full crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. And what we're going to do here is try to lock the low half of the body in. So try to lift your hip points, right? And then keep all that really solid. Just work the torso forward and into the back bend. And forward and into the back bend. One more. And into the back bend. And take it to the floor. Step back plank. Lower down. Take your time. Cobra pose now. Exhale to the floor. Tuck toes. Down dog. Right foot through the ground. Bend the back knee. Keep it up. And now we work side to side. So just work it in a fashion that makes sense to you. Binding the arms or not. But just add some side bends here. And hands to floor. Step to the top of the mat and fold. Inhale to the sky and exhale through prayer. One more half. Inhale, go. Exhale, fold. Find your left foot to the back. Crescent lunge one more time. Left hand behind the back. Like you're trying to scratch down between your shoulder blades. Right hand out. Internal rotation. So thumb down and then around. Finding this Gomukhasana bind. Try to find the fingertips. Try to find a bind or find a shirt or a belt if you need a little assistance. Open the chest to the sky and pull the hands apart from each other. And exhale, let it go. Step back plank, lower down. Still with cobra, when your body feels you would prefer up dog, you can do that. That's your business. Good, now look between your hands, left foot there. Crescent lunge shape. Right hand now will find down between the shoulder blades. Left hand out to the side. Rotate the thumb down. Go reach for it. If you're right-handed, usually we find this side to be significantly easier to find the bind. Just make note of that if it's true for you or not. Chest up, open, and generate a little bit of force by, like the hands are trying to pull apart from each other. And gently let go. Hands to the floor to step to the top. Fold it out. Inhale all the way to the sky and exhale through prayer. Now we're going to work through Vashisthasana using the Surya Namaskar B model. So we'll take Utkatasana chair pose. Inhale and exhale, fold. Inhale halfway up, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, jump your way. Find your plank pose. Lower down. This is that push-up. We keep the elbows into the side ribs. We flip it to up dog, and we take downward facing dog. Now, right foot to the sky. Come up on your left toes. Heel to butt. Open that heel out to the left. And then back to the sky. Drop it down. And just switch. This is just purely for opening up the side body and lengthening the back of the body. Heel to butt and open. Back to the sky and drop it back down. Now we're going to come forward to plank pose and begin this Vashisthasana practice. Feet hip width apart. Push the ground away. Now lift the heels high, high. Drop both heels to the right. Now, no hips dropping here, right? Lift the hips. Come up on the left fingernails, finger pads. And there's the beginning of Vashisthasana, side plank. Left hand back down, heels lift, plank pose real strong, heels lift higher, both heels to the left. Lift the hips, engage the low core, up on the right fingernails. And drop it down. Inhale, take a vinyasa. So my intention here is to offer a couple of steps on the path to full Vashisthasana, and you should continue to practice whatever step feels appropriate to you. Plank pose, please. Heels to the right, heels to the left, heels to center. Now, what we'll do first for the first modification, step the left foot halfway between your hands and your feet, and then turn those toes to the left. Come over onto the right side of your right foot. Now what I want is the right hand a little bit ahead of the right shoulder. Elbow crease, rolled forward to see the middle finger, left hand to the hip. And now open your body to the left. Reach your left arm up. Last part here. Push into both sides of the feet. Lift your hips. And then look down, left hand down, and switch, okay? So find your plank pose. Lift the right foot up. We're going to step it halfway forward, and we're going to spin those toes to the right. Now, some of you may do it intuitively, but all of us should modify Vashisthasana so that the hand is slightly ahead of the shoulder versus directly underneath it. Slightly ahead, spin the heart open, look up, and the key detail, lift the hips, push through the feet, and hand down, step back plank, vinyasa so you can flow through that up dog to down dog. And one time we'll bend the knees, step, hop, jump. Your business. Today I'm stepping. Inhale halfway up, exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. And exhale, push to stand. Inhale, chair. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up, look up. Exhale, step, hop, jump, float. Use that vinyasa if it calls to you. Skip them anytime it does not. Okay, now, feet hip width apart, plank pose. Both heels lift, then both heels come to the right. Now this is modification number 2. Make sure your right hand is ahead of your right shoulder, left hand to the hip. Now just play this round. Drop the hips and really feel like you lift the hips so you feel the right side core engage. Look up, left hand up. Modification number 1. And go try side B. Heels lift, plank pose. Heels high, dropping to the left. Left hand ahead of the left shoulder. Spin onto the edges of the back feet. Play with dropping the hips for a second, but just as a contrast. So you lift the hips, right hand up, look at them. And hands down as the heels lift. Vinyasa or skip it. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees. If you step lightly. If you jump, you float. Inhale flat. Exhale fold. Inhale chair. And exhale push to stand. Inhale chair. And exhale fold. Inhale halfway up, look up. Exhale, step, hop, float, vinyasa or skipped. Downward facing dog. Now come forward to plank pose. Right hand ahead of right shoulder, both heels drop. This time we stack. Come over onto the right outer edge of the foot, left hand to the ceiling. Lift the hips. Look down to transition side B. Roll straight through, stack the feet, or choose the previous modification. And hand down. With one less vinyasa, we'll stay here. Hips high, heels drop to the right. Stack. Look up. This time, if you like, really flex that left foot actively and lift it up to the ceiling. And down, look down, and roll. Again, please choose any of these side planks that make sense to you. Stack, side plane, active right heel, lift it up. Release it. Down, vinyasa, down dog. Bend the knees. Step, hop, jump, float, flat back fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, press to stand. And Vashisthasana is in our rear view. Find the top of the mat. Find Tadasana. Shake out your wrists. It's a pose that's definitely heavy on the wrists. Make fists roll your hands. Now, focus. Focus on what you're doing with your practice. Focus on the feeling of energy in your body, on your capacity to slow down your heart now, to slow down your breathing, to be fully present with what is. Good. And then we'll turn sideways on our mats. We're going to find Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands to hips first, please. Feel this pelvic tilt, which is the foundation of forward bends. And then let your head fall. For now, keep your hands at your hips. Find the strength in your feet. And then hands to floor. Push to a flat back. Look halfway up. And exhale, fold again. Now with the hands between the feet, push your mat forward. Use that to generate a little bit more forward fold. And again, strong feet, flat back, look up, hands back to hips, and press to stand. Good. And then heel toe your feet in a little bit, but not all the way. So stay hip width apart, or wider than hip width apart, sorry. And then I want you to put your hands, so bend down enough so that you can put your hands on the outside edges of your knees. And then I want you to push into your hands. So it's like you're trying to open your thighs out in towards of a split and resist with your hands. So there's some action there. And then try to bring your torso to vertical and then try to sit a little lower. How are you doing today? Sit lower. Now hands to prayer. Don't cheat, but keep driving the knees backwards like there was resistance there. Inhale. And now before you're done, we're going to lift and stomp our heels 10 times. So on the count of 3, we go. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay low. 6, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 10. Just kidding. Turn the toes in. Come all the way down. Sit down gracefully. Cross your shins. Fold it out. Come all the way back up to stand. And we'll turn to face back to the front of your mats. Lean back, palms up. Lean back into a boat pose. Inhale here. And we'll come down. Half boat pose. Optional handstand arms. And palms back, forward, and up. Lift back up. Boat. 3 like that, please. Your way. Low back is like a hollow body hold. So low back to the floor. Hands up overhead. It's hard to talk. And boat pose again. And all the way down. Half boat handstand. And find the floor like Shavasana. Good. Now, bring your knees in. Bring your hands behind your heads. Cross over so that the right elbow and the left knee make contact. And then try to get your left shoulder blade off the ground. Squeeze those 2 points of contact real hard. And then right leg up. Only the right leg moves. Down, exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And up, switch in air. Down, 2, 3. Don't lose track of really engaging knee and elbow. 4, and 5. Release down for a moment. Soles of the feet together. Knees drop apart. Supta Baddha Konasana. Good. And just one more thing. So you leave this class with a nice core fix. Both feet to the sky. Both hands now reach outside the left thigh. The key work, as to the best you can, lift that left shoulder blade off the ground and reach another inch. Now the right leg's going to hover, or find the floor if it's too much for it to hover. But try to hover, point those left toes, and down for 5. Exhale, and 2, and 3, 4, and 5. Switch in air. Down in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And back to the sky. And relax. And windshield wipers now. So feet to the edges of the sticky mat and knees drop in. And really enjoy that feeling of internal rotation. Good. And then last thing we'll do together today. Grab again with your hands. Grab the edges of your mat. Use your feet. Lock them in. Squeeze your thighs in. Use the hands to get your elbows a little closer together. And then 3 bridge poses, please. Lift the hips and roll it down. Lift the hips and roll it down. Use your glutes. Lift as high as you can go. Send your knees towards the front of the mat. And exhale, let it go. Now arms open wide, just like they are. Lift your hips, jump them to the left 2 or 3 inches. Drop the knees to the right. Eyes now looking over at the left hand. Exhale, real nice and slow. And now knees back to the center. Hips back to the center, then hips to the right. Knees over to the left. Eyes towards the right hand. Very simple twist. And come back through center, please, when you're ready. You can now cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Any version of figure 4 or thread the needle. Some people will prefer just to keep their hips on the ground and just use the right knee to open and close the right knee with the right hand, I meant. You can kind of just push it open a little bit. If you know you love thread the needle, go ahead and take it now. You can reach through, catch the knee or the shin. One of the keys to this posture that's sometimes neglected is to really be able to drop the skull down, the shoulders down, so that you can relax as much of your body in this posture as you can. So that the physical posture is linked with a kind of nervous system energy that is appropriate, right? If you've achieved anything of opening in the outer right hip, which is the physical focus of this posture, we support it by calming, deep, slow breathing. One more. Maybe get another little bit of pull and breathe in that space. And whenever you're ready, we'll let it go. We'll switch sides. So cross the left ankle over. Again, so many ways to play. We're just after targeting those outer left hip muscles, the glutes, the piriformis, all that stuff that can feel so tight. And when you're ready, we can reach through, catch a hold. Again, if you can't catch a hold without keeping your shoulders up and your neck and everything tense, then maybe try with a belt or even a t-shirt around or some way that you could be able to relax the upper body into this stretch. Focusing now more than ever on the quality of breathing. And by that, I don't mean judgment of whether your breathing is good or bad, but rather, is it smooth? Is it balanced? Notice the temperature of the air as it enters your body and as it leaves it. One more full exhale like this. And release. And for me, for my guidance, I'm now offering you Shavasana. But again, this is your practice. It always is your practice, but especially because you're practicing at home. Do anything you need. If you want to hit pause and do another couple of postures, if there's anything that your body calls out for. But if you're like me, every chance that you get to really embrace Shavasana, then you jump to it. You understand the value of this posture to the practice is really when we internalize the benefits of a yoga practice that vastly supersede any strengthening or lengthening of the muscles, right? This deep sense of embodiment, of presence. That brings color to your life, that imbues your life with a sense of meaning, vastness, and helps us to reduce this felt sense of separateness, to efface the boundary between me, between us, and the world around us. So we'll continue now together for a few solid minutes of Shavasana. Continually scanning your body for any kind of tension that might develop, and directing our exhales towards that region, practicing the skill of relinquishing control, trusting the earth to hold you up. Thoughts come, and if we let them, thoughts go. Sounds come, and if we let them, sounds go. Practicing the art of hearing sound without the resulting cascade of thinking. Also, practicing the skill of self-compassion. One-pointedness of mind is not an easy pursuit. It's wholly natural that your mind wanders and jumps. So practice this loving kindness of merely beginning again with every new breath. And so now, as you all continue to breathe and be, I'll share with you a poem from the wonderful Alison Luterman called Consider the Generosity of a 1-Year-Old. Consider the generosity of a 1-year-old who has no words to exchange with you yet, and instead offers up her favorite drooled-on blanket, her green rhinoceros as big as she is, her cloth doll with the long blonde pigtails, her battered cardboard books swung open on their soggy pages, her limitless heart. If you were outdoors, she would hand you a dead beetle, a fistful of grass, a pebble, by way of introduction or just because. And if, a moment later, she wants it back, it would be for the joy of passing these simple symbols back and forth. Freely offered, freely relinquished. This is me. Here is who I am. Oh. In the same way, sun drapes a buttered scarf across your face. Rose opens herself to your glance, and rain shares its divine melancholy. The whole world keeps whispering or shouting to you, nibbling your ear like a neglected lover, while you worry over matters of finance, of relationship, important issues related to getting and spending, having and hoarding. Though you were once that baby, though you are still that world. Now, embracing this notion that the way out of the yoga practice, we make a ritual of moving as slowly as we can, savoring our capacity to move only fingers and toes, and only gradually expanding the body parts that move, now hands and feet. Maybe after that side plank practice, it would feel sweet to make fists of your hands and roll your wrists. Now maybe shoulders, knees, hips, everything coordinated again and again with your breathing. And now maybe heels come together and your hands reach for the back of your mat and up and over and stretch. And now the whole body is involved, but still we savor this movement, we savor these moments. And please roll to one side. And slowly gather yourself back up to your seat. Perhaps your eyes remain closed for long enough to find this posture, this asana. And 3 deep breaths together. Inhale from the very pit of your belly. Exhale all the way to the bottom. And wait, hold, exhale, finish the exhale, and retain that absence. Inhale. All the way to the top. And retain in that fullness. And exhale all the way to the bottom. One more time, all the way. Push every bit out and retain. And now inhale and retain. Exhale. And now we inhale, palms to prayer, only in 2/3 full, and we Om. Namaste.